Hey there, everybody. Welcome to a men's college basketball update for Tuesday, January 26th, 2021. Let's talk about some games. So yesterday, it was an okay day. It was 8-5. There were some losses down here. I was messing around with the home bump to figure out if we could make this any better. Meaning, if we don't bump the home team at all, we would have been 9-4. And we would have had Texas Tech still winning this game against West Virginia somehow, even though they covered the spread, but they lost by a point, it looks like. They lost 87-88, I think. I didn't watch any of these games, but anyway, that was a close game we talked about. Well, what about if we had been doing what we'd been doing for a lot of the season and given the home team a 9% bump? It's also 9-4, actually. But the losses are a little spottier down here. Now, this went down to 6-7, right? What happens if there was no bump again? 8-5 on the spread with no bump. That is weird. I didn't look at that before. So what we're doing is we're just doing a little regressive testing about what we could have done and how we could have optimized our wins and losses yesterday based on whatever the home bump is. Now, the reason why I can do that today, and this is the way I left it yesterday, was I left it at 4%, which made us 8-5 and 7-6 on the spread. Now, if you're maintaining this file yourself and doing work on it, that means that this area, this marginal win score area, sometimes is a formula. And it's a formula when I want to be able to adjust that home bump. So what I'm doing is I'm freezing all the historical games now. So now when we go back here and we try to do this and we try to bring this back down to a 0% bump, watch, nothing's going to change. The reason why nothing's going to change is because it doesn't work anymore on the day because I just froze those old records. It will work for today. So let's talk about today, the 26th. Today, there are 20 games I have on in the algorithm schedule with odds today. And we'll see if there's anything reasonable. And we're also going to mess around with some home bumps also to figure out what to do. So right now, let's go to, let's leave it at a 0% home bump for now. All right. And as we do this, and we start to browse and see what's available today, we have this thing descending by margin. What all that means is that we think this team of reference over here is much, much better than this team over here when this margin is big. So we think that Richmond is a whole lot better than St. Joe's. God, I hope I labeled St. Joe's right because I got St. Mary's and Mount St. Mary's screwed up. I think there's two St. Joseph's too. So you got to check me on this stuff. Anyway, so in this scenario, though, the money line's terrible. So you can't really do much in this game because the spread is big and the money line is big. So as you scroll down, we try to look for good money lines because that means that we think a team is good and Vegas is giving good odds. And here's where this happens today. Unfortunately, they're all away teams and we don't have any home bump at all. So our home bump, meaning how much we will boost the home team extra simply because they are home. This has been found to be a thing. Home teams win more in college basketball. It's just the case. So if we go all the way up to 9%, this is going to restructure all of this. All of a sudden, it makes Akron a stronger pick than Richmond because Akron is at home and Richmond was away, right? It changes the margin. So between these two ranges, let's see, are those underdogs here? Yes, those underdogs are still here, and Pittsburgh pops up against North Carolina as well because this is a really close game. So what I'm seeing here is the fact that these away teams are surviving. Even a 9% home bump means that these guys plus the points, especially like Georgia Tech plus 6 against Duke. What have I been saying about Duke all year? If you've watched any of the videos, I'm like, Duke is... It's not that they're overrated, it's that they are carrying a reputation of being Duke and they're not playing like what you would think Duke plays like. Coach K is getting in trouble for like yelling at students. Like what's going on here, right? So this is an interesting chunk of games that if I were to bet, which I'm not, I do all this without betting at all. I just do it for the joy of looking at the numbers and providing people with a sheet to look at for the day. If you were betting, I can imagine how fun it would be. As a matter of fact, when I get back to the East Coast, apparently you're allowed to bet on FanDuel in Virginia, where I oftentimes am. And that will make life a whole lot easier. And I'll probably follow up more on the betting aspects and strategies of this as opposed to just the numbers. Now, is there anything else to talk about today? You want to have the home teams on here, but let's lower the bump to 0 for a second, and then just pick the home teams and see if there's anything reasonable. The answer is no. This would mean like you're not bumping the home team at all, and the home team's already going to be favored. So are there any good lines? The answer is these 4, potentially even this minus 335 against Kentucky, because I've been there. So here you got UConn supposed to beat Butler, but they're operating at 74 and 75%. Oh, yeah. So I don't know about these games, but let me talk about something else for a second. Let's go back to yesterday. And did any of these teams that were hurting not play well? The answer is not really, other than Texas Tech losing to Virginia by 1. I mean, that was obviously a really good game, and they were on the road. Yeah, we had that as a super close game. The bump was 4% yesterday. So had we bumped it up to 9, it would have favored West Virginia to win, which is what we were looking at. I don't know. Anyway, too much talking. So what I wanted to say was, well, did this operating strength matter yesterday? And the answer is it didn't hurt anybody. Like I said, watch out for Oklahoma State. I said they were operating at like 59% yesterday. They probably got some guys back. Maybe a couple of those guys played or something that were on that list. They covered and they won. So this meant nothing. Same thing with Arizona and Arizona State. This meant nothing. So it's just one day's trial, but it's interesting that none of those panned out at all. So that's something to look at. And as for today, what did I say to do? It was something down here. I don't know. Look back at the video. Actually, we just press undo. It'll bring us back there. Do Control Z will just bring you back. Here we go to what we were doing. Right, we were looking at stuff here. And I said something about not just the home teams. I liked these away teams plus the points wherever they were. Is it Missouri? We have no bump. Let's go with 9% bump. The away teams that maintain on this list with a 9% bump are good, right here. So these 4 an interesting pick. Watch out for Pittsburgh against North Carolina at home, but these other 3 road dogs, you take them with the points, you might be in good shape. All right, good luck, everybody.